The Hells Angels Motorcycle Club was founded in 1948 and has since become notorious for its tight-knit brotherhood, iconic death head logo, and participation in illegal activities. But did you know that leaving the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club is not a simple task? Those who risk breaking links with this gang of motorbike hoodlums do so at their own peril. Let's check out how dangerous and uncertain it can be if someone decides to leave the Hells Angels. According to the Hells Angels, once you're in for life. There's no such thing as a retired member. However, there are times when a member gets the boot for breaking the rules, and other times when a member throws in the towel and walks away. George Christie, who had been a member of the Hells Angels for donkey's years, spilled the beans about his time spent on the outside of the motorbike gang. Christie's dream of joining the Hells Angels hit the jackpot in the 1970s. The ex-member spilled the beans about his stint in the organization during an interview with Vice. "Against all odds, I held steadfast to my belief in a genuine honor code. I felt as safe as houses with these guys." When asked why he felt comfortable spilling the beans to them, he replied, "Because I knew they wouldn't spill the beans and use anything I told them against me." Christie claims that he finally feels like a fish in water thanks to the warm embrace of the exclusive motorbike club. Christie decided to hang up his Hells Angels hat in 2011, calling it quits after a whopping 4 decades of riding with the Notorious gang. He had been the commander of the Ventura chapter for a solid 35 years, but finally decided to throw in the towel. He had a change of heart and realized that the club's actions were no longer a good fit for his principles, so he decided to call it quits. When he bid farewell, he dropped a bombshell on his ex-colleagues, saying, "I felt like we ended up becoming the very wolves in sheep's clothing we once fought against." He spilled the beans to KNPR that he had tried to bury the hatchet with other motorcycle gangs, but unfortunately, his olive branch was met with a cold shoulder. Did you know that Christie has been given some very disrespectful tags? Want to know what? We will let you know that soon. But before that, let's continue further with what happened to him next. George Christie crossed all his T's and dotted all his I's when he decided to throw in the towel and resign from the MC. Members seemed to understand his position after he spilled the beans about his decision to throw in the towel and handed over his badge of honor. It seems that his departure from the club was taken with a grain of salt by its members. Christie received a phone call a few weeks later giving him the lowdown that he was in hot water with the club on account of rumors that he was singing like a canary, a claim he vehemently denies. It was unexpected for him, and how could it not be? For Christie, being out bad was like a fish out of water. It meant that the people he held dear, the members, couldn't get in touch with him, not even by a long shot. Think for a moment how it would feel to not be able to have a connection with those whom you have spent a major amount of time with. Leaving the club, he said, was like splitting up the band. At first, everybody tried to see eye to eye. My friends and family were disappointed by my choice, but they swallowed their pride and bit the bullet. Things really hit the fan and tensions reached a boiling point, making life a real uphill battle for poor Christie, he spilled. In the year 2016, Christie unleashed a memoir called Exile on Front Street, My Life as a Hells Angel and Beyond, spilling the beans on his wild adventures and escapades. The ex-member of the Hells Angels spilled the beans on how he, a former Marine, hopped on the wild ride with the world's most notorious motorcycle gang and spills the tea on the roller coaster of events that went down during his time in the gang and the aftermath of his departure. So, here comes the tag we were talking about. According to Gangsters Inc., he was labeled a coward. Stories about him were spread like wildfire, and he ended up doing time in the slammer on a conspiracy charge. It is difficult for individuals to leave the club unharmed due to its strong loyalty rule and criminal links. Leaving the Hells Angels involves a perilous journey fraught with life-changing decisions. So, would you still like to be a member of this gang? Well, if you're not sure, be ready to face the consequences once you leave. Also, do not forget to share your opinions in the comments below.